Shut up and sit down.
Okay, our next speaker is affectionately known as the godfather of Michigan cannabis legalization, and he battled and he beat the powers that be in Detroit. He mentored many of us, and a lot of us did local petition drives, and Chuck Ream and Tim Beck mentored us. And I got to tell you that he and Chuck also gathered all the Michigan power activists under the umbrella of Safer Michigan, and that's where people were able to network and to make plans. And that's how we were able to get Prop 1 passed. And that's how we're going to get the rest of this stuff going on with the expungements and other things that still need tweaking. He was really instrumental in the passage of Prop 1. And I'm really proud to introduce my friend and also my mentor, Mr. Tim Beck.
Well, thank you, my friend Debra. I remember those days. Good grief, back, you and Andrew Sissel and a number of other folks. I mean, you really kicked butt, in Oakland County, and it was just really, what wonderful. And Ben Horner, contributed to the effort, and we sued the city of Oak Park, and on and won. But,
fun times.
Yeah. Well, this is a bittersweet day, for me, and especially, old timers. Now, I'm really not an old timer like John Sinclair, Adam Brook, Marvin, the late Renee Emery Wolf, and just numerous others that, really took a lot of risk, back in the 70s and 80s and 90s. And it just, like, when I heard this thing a couple of weeks ago, hash bash being canceled, I said, no, what the fuck? Hey, excuse me, no, you can't, I'm going to be there. Well, that was an emotional reaction at the time. And of course, I didn't know, many of us didn't really know, how radically things would change, and that, we just couldn't do it, out on the diag. And, and then later on, of course, when there were other people that took enormous risks and went to prison even after medical was passed, and just a lot of folks. Well, Rick Thompson, I know Rick was there with Rick. We remember, Rick Ferris, Big Daddy. He got busted. Rick, I understand you were there, and they pointed guns at you. And Jim Powers, good grief, man, you took a lot of, heat. And Michael Komorn, you got, things, really going, and you made some really, you were and are a superb attorney that pushed this forward. And Jamie Lowell, I don't understand. I in my wildest imagination, how should I say it, the boldness you had opening a fucking dispensary. I couldn't even sleep at night back then thinking that the DEA would be at my door. So thank you all. But again, we have to do what we have to do today. And I would say that, on the bright side, we really got it good here, in Michigan with this law. This law is not perfect and everything like that, but it's pretty darn good. And I'm going to say, at least at this moment in time, and probably for the next, few years at least, everybody, can have a piece of a big pie here. There's big operators out there. There's caregivers. There's individual growers. And I don't know of anybody that's really, doing badly. And the fact is the level of arrests, in the state have, it's practically gone down to nothing. I mean, except for very, very extreme in your face, kinds of situations. I mean, we again, we've got it good. I was able to grow 4 beautiful marijuana plants right on my, property, and I didn't have to worry about helicopters, flying over and spotting the crop. And so we got a lot to be thankful for, and that way was paved long time back with old fighters. Rich Burkett, he's another one going way back, and and of course Chuck and many others has got the got the ball rolling, and we made it. We made it to the finish line. Marijuana policy project. Again, Michigan was really an exception. We've had infighting, within the community, over the years, but it never really got to the level where people were absolutely hating each other, where Michigan did not become another Ohio or Arizona, where activists were out there openly trying to sabotage legalization just because it wasn't perfect in their mind. What's the expression? The perfect being the enemy of the good. And so, that's why I try and I recommend people as best you can, to stay strong. Think positive about it, and it's going to be some tough times. I feel very sad for all the people that are being out of work, mostly little people in the hospitality industry and hotels and things like that. And I just hope it don't get any worse. But anyway, this will all be over, at some point. And again, folks, we've got it good. And I just want to say, thank you to everyone. And, especially the people that organize this digital hash bash. I get the impression it's not running perfectly, but hey, so what? Thank you anyway. Thank you very, very much. And Nick Zettel, if you're listening, man, you've done good over the years. And I was, as you know, a little, pissed off and stuff like that. But forget it. That's not about that anymore. Things change and people move on. And we're living in a great state here that actually really won in the end. The big shots, as well as, grassroots folks, for the most part, we put it together and we won. And I tell you, it's something to be proud of. And with that, I will sign off. And again, God bless, and hey, enjoy the day. All righty. Thank you,
Jim. This is Nick here. That was absolutely on the money. I really did feel inspired by that. And yes, talk about an emotional response. I mean, when every event in the whole, spring and summer practically got canceled on the same day, and one of them just happened to be, this event that's so much more than, a concert or a protest or a rally or anything of that nature. It's bigger. It extends beyond the confines of the actual event, and it's really incredible. And there are so many people you were, listing off that have gone through so much, and a lot of them, probably, won't be named, and, there's just too many to count, and that's the reality of the situation. But a couple I did want to, draw a little attention to are Jeff Hank and Chris Silva and Sam Pernick and Ryan Basor and everyone on the, initial Am I Legalized committee that, Tim Beck was at that meeting, and it was at Jamie's place, and Chuck Ream put it on, and, It took a whole lot to get here, but it took a lot of us, and there are a lot of us. And so that's really, something that we do have to look forward to. And this is just another extension of community. So thanks, Tim. Seriously.
My pleasure, Nick. And I want to thank you for bringing up those other names. I'm always me anyway, to be very reluctant to start mentioning names to congratulate and thank, because there's always so many other people, out there that deserve thanks. I'm so glad you brought up Jeff and those other folks' names. It's too many to mention, but hey, thank you, Nick. Thank you.